Welcome to my home library. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Bella. I'm 23. I'm an actor. I just graduated acting training and I live in London, but I'm in my home house right now where I have this beauty over here. Full disclosure, like when you're in the shower and you give like acceptance speeches, this is how I've been with imagining that I'm filming my home library tour. This whole TikTok, like book talk and booktube, like it all had its boom and it's still a big, lovely community that I'm part of as a watcher, observer. I've been reading like since I was like, I don't know, like less than 10. Reading books and collecting books became two different hobbies, and that's how everything that I'm gonna show you today happened. It's quite a lot. Okay, so where should I start? There's a few things that I would like to mention before I start showing you most of the stuff. I'm not gonna go through everything. I'm gonna go probably shelf by shelf and pulling out stuff that maybe it's more important. There are a few reading aspects that I want to go through quickly before anything. So just like a short, quick history. I started reading this book over here and I think I was less than 10, and then I read like 1-2 other books, fantasies again, and then I went straight into Mortal Instruments, which FYI I haven't finished yet. So I have like 4 more books to go and I finished the whole series, but if you know, it's a really long series, like it has like over 20 books and I'm really looking forward to finishing it. And I've also been avoiding to finish this series because it means so much to me that I didn't want to let go of, but my main genre of choice, which is fantasy, and I don't think I will ever get over it. I think it will always be fantasy. I would say my second ranking after fantasy, it would either be dystopian, but I don't have that many dystopian books, so it's really unfair to say that that's on the second place. I think it might be competing with gothic fantasy. It's like a new genre. I just came across this, so it's just like something really new, so I cannot say that that's my favorite, but I think that's something that I've been reading without being aware of the genre specifically, so I'm starting to be aware of it and buy many books like that. Not big on thrillers. I don't know why, because I think I would like them, but I think I get scared really easily. And I'm like, why would I scare myself? I also don't watch horror movies because like I can appreciate the art, and I think I would like to be acting wise. I think I would like to be on the other side of a horror film, but I cannot consume it because it scares me and I don't like the feeling of being like, what is that? Like, to me it doesn't really make sense. And then I cannot say like, oh, I want to act in a horror film but I don't watch horror films. Like, that's so unfair to do. So I have a really complicated relationship with romance though. I have a few romance books. I have a few books that I want to read or that I've read, but it's really not my thing. I'm sorry if it is your thing. I'm probably not the best source when it comes to recommending romance books because I quite frankly find them boring. I am big though on dark romance. I would read a dark romance every other day. If it's like fantasy books with spicy scenes, I'm all good with that. Like, I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. But if you just give me like a small town romance or like whatever trope that's just like them, they break up, they get together, they break up, they break up, they break up, and then they are together and then they break up. I'm like, what is the point of that? Like, I've seen this story so many times, and quite frankly, what I feel is like, do you people don't have lives? Just telling you my opinion, and maybe someone else feels the same. It's just purely me and how I enjoy reading and what I've always enjoyed and what was my experience with reading. And that's where I stand with romance. And I do use a romance book as a palate cleanser, but I'm not gonna be like, this was the best masterpiece I've ever read in my life. No. Okay, moving on to something else. I prefer hardcovers because also hardcovers can be collection pieces. They can be like special editions. They can be like all of this and that. They look amazing on the shelf and they make my life easy because they can just sit properly facing outwards. That being said, when I actually read it, I'm starting to prefer paperbacks, but the paperbacks that have the size of a hardcover. So like the big paperbacks, which are floppy. Annotations, I don't know if I don't know where I'm standing with that one, because I used to be 100% no for annotations, because also like one of the first thing that I remember is that my grandma was telling me, like, you don't write on books, like that's nasty, like that's disrespectful for the book to draw on it, write on it. So I had this like really heavily ingrained in my brain, and I still do, but now I'm a bit like, oh, there's stuff that I don't want to forget. There's quotes that I want to come back to. So, and also like I've seen all these pictures with like girls annotating their books on the sides and like writing stuff, and I think that's so rich, like so many thoughts on one page. The author's thoughts, your thoughts, you give it to a friend to read, that friend can read both thoughts and they can write their own thought. I mean, how much space do you have on a page? But like, you know what I mean? And like, it really calls to me, but it's really hard to let go of the side that's like, don't write on books because it's disrespectful. And also, I'm listening a lot to books, and I am reading it on a makeshift Kindle, because it's not actually a Kindle. I'm going to show you. So I'm reading a book in 3 different forms. So how can I keep up with annotating? Because I'm never going back and like searching for a certain, like that takes so much time and so much brain power that I'm never doing that. Listening to books and reading it on Kindle are 2 new things. I used to be heavily against this because I was aware that you experience a book at its full potential when you read it. I don't have that much time to sit down and read. And maybe, for example, when I'm back home here, I drive a lot, and sometimes I drive for like 2 hours, or I sit in traffic, or I whatever. And I can use that time to listen to a book. Like some of them are masterpieces. Like there's some books, like for example, this one here. The audiobook of this book is immaculate. Like I think I had a better experience listening to it than reading it, because the voices and like all the characters and like the actor that was doing the voice was incredible. And then I was also kind of against having a Kindle because of the same reason, taking away from the experience. But as I'm reading a lot of fantasy books are huge, either going on a day trip or for a longer period of time, and I might read in the car, like on the plane or whatever, and I cannot really pull out a 500 800 pages book, because that is huge and it's so inconvenient, and it doesn't fit any luggage, and it doesn't fit my tiny purse, and it doesn't fit anything, and it's heavy to carry, and my back hurts the whole day, and I start complaining, and I get overstimulated, and so on and so on. Okay, a quick mention. I think that here I haven't rearranged anything in 2 years. They heavily need a reorganization of everything, but it's not gonna happen very soon because I'm missing volumes, I'm missing books, I'm missing some of these books, have the rest of the volumes in my apartment in London. I don't know, they're just purely arranged on vibes. Starting at the first top shelf, here I have my 6 of Crows 3 special volumes, because wrong one. If you know, the next 2 volumes of Shadow and Bone are not special editions, only these 3 are, so I kept them together, and I only read Shadow and Bone 2 or 3 summers ago, and I haven't continued because it didn't impress me, but I really want this year to continue because I want to get to this too. And I have this winter house which my mom actually received, but she had nothing to do with it, and I had. And here I have my 2 books which are gods related, and maybe that's the reason why they're together. I had very few experiences with gods in books, and they were not necessarily the best, so that one especially, I think it's beautiful, but that's what actually keeps me a bit from getting to them. This is my first Cassandra Clare shelf. I have more coming. This is the special edition of the very first volume, City of Bones, and a lot more volumes came out in this edition, but I don't think I'm that crazy about it anymore. Like, I got the first one because I was like, this is the most beautiful thing in the world. I had my fun with it. I don't think I need the rest. These are more like the independent books. This is the series that I'm currently reading, which I don't remember the name of, and they're in Romanian. They're one of my last books, fantasy books in Romanian, and I need to finish this one, which is the last one. It's the 3rd one, and it's the biggest one, but I want to finish this year. And then I framed this picture, which frankly, it's not from this series. It is from a Mortal Instruments universe book, but it's not from any of these ones here. I don't remember from which book this is, I don't know who the guy is yet. I will find out, but he is watching over me on my shelf even if I don't know him yet. Going lower, I have really old books. I have this series that, again, it's in Romanian, so I cannot tell you by heart the name of the series, but I absolutely devoured this. It was incredible. It is like, I would define this as a guilty pleasure. Like, they're not masterpieces in any way, shape, or form, but I absolutely devoured the whole series. I love it with my heart. I have this here, and you can put a candle inside it, but it hasn't been used in years, but it would look really nice to have like the candle light in here next to the books. And then I'm starting to collect these special editions of the Hunger Games. And then I have this series of the Red Queen, and the first volume of the Red Queen, I have it twice. One in Romanian when I bought the whole series, and then this one, I think it was gifted to me, or I don't remember. But I have a really nice bookmark here that I made because I used to make my own bookmarks for most of the books, which is like really damaged, I would say. And then I have Shatter Me series, which I was not able to get past the first book because I felt like I've seen this story before so many times. Okay, go in. Down here I have the Harry Potter volumes, which honestly they were gorgeous because they came in this box that was very nicely designed, and like I loved it. But now I lost the box, so like the covers are just fine, they're just like normal covers. Then I have Queen of Shadows, which was gifted to me in 9th grade, and it looked nice. It looked like something that I would read, but then I searched it and I was like, oh, like this is like the 5th volume in the whole series, so I'm probably never gonna read it. I forgot about it. It has like the old cover, and then I got into Sarah J Maas and everything, and I was reading it and I was like, this title is very familiar, and then I looked and I was like, oh, I have this book. And then down here I have a puzzle. I have My Dilemma Is You. Like, does anyone know this series? Like the series of these books? They're like 3 romance books that I think they were like Wattpad stories, and then they made it into a book. And then I have a bunch of very old books from my grandma in Romanian, a lot of legends and stuff like that, which they're more like research material for the short film that I'm writing. I'm not writing it, I'm producing it, someone else is writing it, but we're creating the story together, and we want a lot of history, legends, old Romanian stories to get inspired from. So I brought this from my grandma, but they're like so old, it looks like they're gonna disappear soon. So after I finish with them, I might take them back because they're not as safe over here. I just read One Dark Window, finished it in 24 hours. I was obsessed. This series of 3 books, which I know they also have a TV show, but on HBO probably, but I don't remember. It was absolutely incredible, and I need it. Like, has anyone read this? The Magicians is the first volume. Has anyone read this? And do you have recommendations of other books that are like this? Because I don't have an option just to read it again, and I haven't mentioned this actually. Let's refocus. Hello. Okay, let's refocus. I haven't mentioned this. I forgot. See, this is how I remember stuff. I don't reread books. I don't, because life is too short and I don't have enough time to reread stuff. That's why I keep book journals where I write the summary of the book in very big detail with a lot of spoilers. Like everything that happened, it is written in bullet points in those journals, because if I miss a book and I want to go back to it, I'm not going to reread it. I'm going to read the summary, especially if it's like a long series. And I don't binge read. Another thing, I don't binge read. I read a series, I read a volume, and then I need to take a break from it. Even if I loved it and even if it ended in the biggest cliffhanger, I'm gonna read something completely different, because I'm gonna read the first 30 pages of the next volume and then I'm gonna get bored, and then I'm gonna get in a reading slump, and then I'm gonna waste a really good book. So that's why I don't binge read. That's why I have series that I've started years ago and I'm still reading them, and I know it's bad, but it doesn't upset me that much. Yeah, so when you do it like that, it really helps to have a very detailed summary of everything that happened, because I'll start the second volume 4 months later, I'll forget everything, I'll just read the summary, I'll remember everything, and everything is fine and I can continue going. But when it comes to this series, I want everything in that book. So please do tell me if you know anything like that, because I might have to reread it, and I don't usually do that because there's so many books to read in this lifetime. Why would I waste time rereading something that also I probably loved it when I read it, And now I look at that book and I'm like, that's a favorite of mine. If I read it now, like 5 years later with different mindset, I might be like, what is this book? Like, this book is horrible, it's boring, it's whatever, like, I don't like it. Why would I destroy a perfectly beautiful memory? Why? No, we don't reread. It's fine. There's too many stuff to read on this earth that there's no time for that. And then going back, here's my Caravel series. This is the special edition. These are normal, but this edition is like really beautiful. Let me figure out, take this out. Look at it, the ticket, one-way ticket. Oh, that's normal. And then the back. Moving lower, here's where I probably have the most romance books. I have my Taylor Jenkins Reid over here, which I absolutely am obsessed with. I read every single one that is here. I read Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I want to read the one with the tennis. And even if I really don't care about astronauts, I know that she writes these books very well, so I'm gonna read that one as well. And then I have Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore, which, come on, only 2 books left to read from this series, which I think is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House and the Gingerbread Bakery. I read every other one. They are comfort read. They are romances, but I really absolutely love them. And there are a few other romances. I know I said that I'm not reading romances. I'm not, but there's one series that I think it's with like cowboys. I really want to get into that one. I don't remember the name to tell you now. The cover really appeals to me, probably that's why. But also that happened before with this series over here. We have Magnolia Parks, which has one of the most beautiful covers, if you ask me, this particular series. And I read it and I almost DNF'd it 10 times, and I read the whole thing, and it just reassured why I don't read romance, because what happened in this book other than them being undecided if they love each other or if they want to never see each other again. And honestly, in my opinion, I'm like, why are we even debating this? Like, if you know the book and if you know what he did, I'm like, why are we even talking about this? Anyway, what he did, it's something that in real life a lot of people would have been like, bye bye. And if this book wants to be like a observation, criticizing, like giving a different view on this topic, like how hard it is to actually say bye-bye and all of that, I get that and I can appreciate that, but it was not giving, like, it was not made properly. This is a shelf that I really love. It has a lot of new books, so a lot of the times that I buy something new, I put it here. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I haven't read this series, but I own 3 volumes of it. And then I read The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, was the first book that I read by him. I got obsessed, and then I read the next volume, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and then I kept on buying books from him. And I also have some books in London, and he is one of my new favorite authors. And the only special mention that I have is If We Were Villains, which is dark academia with acting students learning Shakespeare and doing a play of Macbeth. And I read this my last year of uni when I did Macbeth, and I knew it was about that, and I wanted a lot of material in my personal life, Macbeth related, in my, like, when I was doing all my research and everything. So that's exactly why I kept this book until then, and I read it then, and I was like, everything that, I mean, not everything, like, if you know the book, not everything that happens in here happened in my real life, but everything that is not extreme, with trigger warnings that I cannot mention because there's spoilers as well, everything that is just like their normal lives, how they live life, how they fight, how they rehearse, how they fight over roles, how they, I don't know, everything, how they live life outside of class, outside rehearsals, their relationship with their parents, about them choosing to do acting, like everything. I was living it during the day, and then I was going home and I was reading this book, and it was immaculate. Like, I don't think there would be a better time in my lifetime to read this book. These are a lot of books that I read when I was younger, but these are some of the books that I think about the most on my day-to-day life. This book, Hex Hole, it meant everything to me, and I think about it every other week, and it's been years. That's why she's also on this stand here facing forwards. And this is the only book that I think I'm going to reread. I think I want to reread it because now, living in London, I found the second volume. And I knew I wanted to read it, but I don't remember anything that happened. And because it's so old, I never had the summary of this book. And it's so old and so not trendy that I cannot find the summary of this book. So I'll have to reread it so I can read the next volume. Again, we're down here. I have a bunch of books that I read as a child. This is the book that I read, like my first ever book. I think it has like 20 pages, and look how yellow it is. And it's about some unicorn. This is what started everything you see here. And then I have this series that I don't know how famous it is. The Girl of the Sixth Moon. I don't know how to translate it on the spot, but if this cover is familiar to anyone, please let me know, because I got it from the school's library and it was incredible. Like, the series was incredible, but it's not that famous. Like, not that many people know about. This is my Pirates and Mermaids shelf, and I love it, and I cannot wait to make this move it to a bigger shelf because I'm buying new books like this, but they're not that many. So like, if you know any book that is not in this video, recommend it to me, please. So we have Fable, which has this like plastic things that are holding it, and I have it for all of the books that are facing forward. But this one specifically, first of all, yes, I wanted to make it look like if it's a face. It is a bit of a crooked face because it doesn't want to sit properly. But the problem is that I don't remember which volume. One of them fell and it broke a big chunk of papers, so if you take it out, a big chunk of the book, the papers in the book are gonna fall out. So I'm not moving this. This is a boat I got from my trip in Malta last year, and these are the boats that were in the docks over there, and I bought it, and I thought exactly, like, it was exactly for this shelf I bought it. This is my main Mortal Instruments shelf, and there's nothing much to say about it except that it's gorgeous and that I have this book nook over here, which had a light inside so you could see what exactly goes on in the book nook, but it died. And on the side here I have the Shadowhunter Codex, which I sometimes read, but it's not like a proper read through. Like, come on, the sound of it, it's perfect, it's gorgeous. Say this is my romance shelf because it only has romance books, but most of them I've read as a teenager. Them I love for what they've given me at the time. This is the After series, which has the movies now. I have a bunch of Colleen Hoover, like this is Colleen Hoover. This one and this one are not Colleen Hoover, except the After series. Have I read all of them? No. And Verity, I can say it was my favorite one. Why? It was the least romance one. No, I'm not. No, I think Verity was my favorite one. Oh, I know there's one that I considered it to be very not hyped enough, but it might be this one, November 9. But I don't remember specifically, but I didn't read. Things We Never Got Over. I haven't read this one. I bought it because it was more like secondhand, like very cheap, and it was matching my outfit. Yes, I'm ashamed to admit that, but that's why I bought it, and I want to read it because I own it, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. Again, this bookshelf over here, it has a lot of books that I read when I was younger. I think the ones that I loved the most were The Iron Test. It's the name of the first volume, this one. The other one I think is The Fifth Wave over here, which also has a movie. So here I have a bunch of books that I read in high school because it was like from the English class, but I actually liked them and I actually worked on them, so I think they're good to go here. I have this pink box, which is something that I kept from my high school project where I did a music video and we had to make we had to make the music video, and then we also had to make like the promotional package of it all. Yeah, it has like a CD that I painted on theme, and then it has a picture. This I got from a farmer's market in London, and so the guy explained it to me, but it was a while ago, so I forgot. Sorry for the jump scare. It was a while ago, so I kind of forgot, but he said that cigarette packs back in the day. They had this drawings, I guess. They were, this one's particular, he had with like a bunch of stuff, but these ones were with Alice in Wonderland. Have I mentioned, or am I just like talking about Alice in Wonderland like always? It is my most loved thing in this world. So I am heavily obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, and I have always been, and it is, in my opinion, one of the best stories, best things. Like, I would watch it all the time. I would analyze it all the time. I would watch anything that was related to Alice in Wonderland. That's why you find a lot of things around this shelves and like my bedroom and like my phone and like everything always related to Alice in Wonderland. And I'm saying that because a lot more Alice in Wonderland stuff is about to come on. My high school end project was me and my friend making a music video with Alice in Wonderland. Like, we legit went into the woods with tables, dresses, recreated the tea party in a forest by ourselves, and we filmed the music video over there. And we had a rabbit, a live rabbit. I think the video is on my page. I don't necessarily recommend you go back and you watch it because it's really bad quality wise, like the camera and the movement and everything, but I would still recommend you watch it. Like, if you want to watch it, I'm fine. Like, I'm not taking it down because it was such a passion project. Like, it was such a I would film this over and over and over again forever. I would still film it today. I loved it so much that I cannot trash it in any way. Yes, it's bad. Yes, it doesn't have the best quality. But for the time being and for the experience that we had then, which was almost 0 to nothing, it's good. Like, it's good. Like, if I would watch 15-year-olds now make that video, I would be like, girl, this is good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna trash something that I absolutely loved in the moment that I did, and that's something that I'm still using today as a story, like I'm telling you now, and like I'm telling other people. And I'm always referencing back to that experience as a very formative one because it was very, very challenging, and we learned a lot, and it was way too important in whoever I am today not to love it for however crappy it might look now. It's just characters from Alice in Wonderland, and I just keep it there to add to my obsession. Everything that is on this corner shelf, it's probably the best things that I own, and that's why they are here. They're in the corner of everything. Is with Holy Black. Then there's like this second spin-off series that came out, which I'm not gonna take it out because they're gonna fall. This is the first one. This is the second one, and that is the only Lumicrate. I don't remember one of those two subscriptions. I'm obsessed with them, and I was like, if there's one book from there that I absolutely need to have, it is this one, and I love it. And this crazy cute mushroom, I got it for Christmas a few years ago, and it's like, I love mushrooms in any way, shape, or like sticker. I mean, that can sound very wrong. I mean, as design pieces, like stickers like this in books, drawings, keychains, whatever. Sorry, I breathed on the mic. But everything like that, I love mushrooms, like fantasy mushrooms. Like, this is not like a normal one. It's like a fantasy, coming from a fantasy world. Nothing much to say here. These are the hardcovers of Once Upon a Broken Heart. Read all of them. The only extra thing over here is this pack of cards, which is with Nightmare Before Christmas, because I have a lot of things Tim Burton coded. It is an aesthetic that's very close to my heart. The fact that there's an Alice in Wonderland movies by Tim Burton is like, it cannot get better than that. This is my heavily focused on Alice in Wonderland shelf. I have this book, this special edition, which might be my most prized possession. And then I have this volume of Belladonna, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I really want to get to it as soon as possible. And then I have books that are reimaginings of Alice in Wonderland. I think I would read anything in this world that is a reimagination of Alice in Wonderland. So we have Once Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which, despite my love for this story, this was not the best. It was not the best, but I appreciate it for what it was. I have this, another cover for it. I have playing cards with Alice in Wonderland. And this last book, it was given to me, is by William Shakespeare, and it is signed by not William Shakespeare, but my teacher, which name was William, so it works. It was signed and it has like a short message on it. Finished our play of Hamlet, like we did Hamlet, and then we had a show and everything, and then we used these books in the play. At the start of the play, in character, we used these books, and then they were signed, given a message, and then we got to keep them. Morganville Vampires. Has anyone read this? Again, they're all in Romanian. They all have these covers. I started to read this in 5th grade, and I only have 8 volumes because only 8 volumes have been translated, but there's more volumes than that. This being the 9th volume, which I got from London, from Vinted, and it came with no cover, which I don't like, but I haven't continued. Like, I haven't read this. I only read all the ones in Romanian, and then I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna give up. I don't have to read the whole series, and it might be my most favorite bottom shelves because here I have all of my acting books. I have Hamlet, I have Macbeth, I have Michael Caine acting in film, I like plays. I have this bottom one, Making Movies in Hollywood, which is signed by Hank Paul, and I got it from a friend of a friend of a friend. Like, I also have a few Rick and Morty. I haven't properly read this, just like look through it, so I don't remember if these are actual episodes from the show, but I have volume 1 and volume 2 over here, so they are probably my most loved books. It's probably one of my prettiest shelves you'll see, but right over here we have this section, which all of them have these really cute sprayed edges, so that's why I keep them together over there, but other than that they have no reason to be together there. And then I've read most of this, and then I have this special cover. This is a very beautiful shelf. It doesn't make much sense, but it's gorgeous. I'm starting to collect this type of covers, which are hand painted, and they are quite expensive, and I have quite a lot more volumes to go and buy, but whenever I can like put some money aside and buy this, I will, because my plan is that I want to have all of them to face forward from like one end to the other of a shelf, so it just looks like a really long painting. That's my goal with this one. So far I have Peter Pan and what is this? The Secret Garden. I have these two. Will I actually read these books? I don't know. I have also these 2 houses here, which they're like from cities that I've visited, and these houses are like quite popular to make, and these are like how the actual houses in those villages look like. So they're like from different cities, but just they look similar, but they're from different cities. And then here on the side, let me zoom out, I have, this is again from the Mortal Instruments series, The Last Hours it's called. It has 3 volumes. I only have 2 because the last one I cannot for whatever reason find in hardcover anywhere in any language. I cannot, so I don't know what to do about that, because I don't want to give up, and I don't want to have like 20 plus volumes in hardcover looking the same, and then the last one being different. Like, that would drive me insane. I have this very lovely book, which is the Shadowhunters, like illustrated, hold on, all the characters from all volumes, picture and description, and they have all of them, and it's just a nice thing to own. It's not necessarily to be read. Everything on this shelf, it is hardcover, and that is so satisfying, and I'm just gonna walk you through them because they are series. I have the Atlas 6 series, 1, 2, 3, third one, gorgeous. I DNF'd it. I have a very complicated relationship with this author right now because I have more books from her, and I don't know what to do because I loved the first volume. The second volume was like, I can survive through it. Last one, I DNF'd it. Something else I need to mention, I don't DNF books. I would so much rather go through a whole book and tell people that I didn't like it and put it there in my no pile, be able to say at the end that this was not for me. I read it, it was not my cup of tea. But with this particular book, I was unable to do that. I DNF'd it. I couldn't. And then I have everything, like my everything. The Court of Thorns and Roses, which is in a box. It came in a box, and I keep it in a box. And then I have, like you read A Court of Thorns and Roses because you hear the hype of it on TikTok. and then you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And I think I'm over here. Did I read The Air of Fire? I don't remember. I don't remember, but it's either this one, the next one that I have to read, it's either this one or Queen of Shadows. I don't know. And I still need to buy the last few volumes. I don't have all of them. Again, they don't have a specific order. This is a volume from Little Women, not a volume, like a cover from Little Women. I do want to collect more. It says on the front page the date. It says the date, and I bought it from Cambridge, UK in 2022. Legends and Lattes. I read this in 24 hours. I was obsessed with it, and I love the cover. That's how I discovered the book. And it is cozy fantasy. I've never read a cozy fantasy before this, and I'm gonna read more after I read this. And I was obsessed with this cover. Hardly could find it. Found this one, bought it, and then I got so lucky to find the second volume with the same cover, and it is insanely floppy. I told you, mushrooms. Here, lovely, in front of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I only have the first volume, and I miss the world. I desperately need to get the next two volumes, but the problem is that I can not find them as a hardcover with this type of cover. Like, if I buy a series with the cover, I'll do everything I can to buy the rest of the series in the same cover. And just like the mushrooms there, and the mushroom, like, they look so good. I have that Sarah J Maas there, House of Flame and Shadow, which is the first volume, and that one needs to be moved up next to the rest Sarah J Maas books, but it doesn't fit, and there's no need to reorganize stuff so that I fit that one. Dawn Lake, the audiobook again was amazing. It was a perfect example of it's worth it to listen to audiobooks, and I love the story. It's about an actor's life. If you don't know, she's old, she's telling her life story to her daughters. We have two timelines. It's her telling the story in this like orchard, like very like farm like life, like on the porch with her husband, like it's beautiful. And then there's the other timeline with her being young and getting into the industry and everything she experienced in the industry before she settled down and had children. And I loved it. And this is not romance, it's just pure fiction. And this book makes me want to get into more fiction. This is the second volume in Shadow and Bone. It's very far away from the first volume. Hate that it has the sticker. I cannot find the cover in any other way anywhere. I'm sorry, I said second, I meant third. I don't have the second volume. This is the third volume. A special cover from Throne of Glass. Why is it 2 shelves underneath the rest of the series? Don't ask. Here is a long shelf. This shelf is practical. Here I keep all of my book summary journal, like book journals, but for me book journals, I talked about this before, but it's like basically writing the summary of the book in very big detail and then putting a review and a I was showing you on the ground and the camera was not there, putting like a collage of the like pictures of what happened in the book, and then I'm just something like this, and then title, author, everything, bullet point list of everything that happened in the book. And at the beginning I have a list with all the summaries, all the books that are in this particular journal. And here are all of my journals. And then I have this binders, which this one has my play with Hamlet and Macbeth from uni. This it's new, it's medical. I keep all of my medical records here. And then here I want to document everything that I've learned in university on different topics like script, TV and screen, business and industry, techniques, whatever, because I don't want to forget it. Like, hold on, let me talk to you. I don't want to forget all of that because it's precious information and it's a lot. It's 3 years worth of information. And I am obviously going to forget. And there's those moments when you're like, oh, I have an audition. Oh, I booked the role. Oh, I'm starting to work on this project. Oh, I don't remember anything because I'm put on the spot and I need to remember in a few days 3 years worth of information, and everything in my mind is like, what am I picking and choosing? So if I have it all documented here physically, it's so much easier. Go back, read, remind myself. It's on my 2026 list to make this, but I don't remember where my notes are. I have one I have one notebook here, and then I have another one in London probably, and I might still have access to my university account where all of the lessons were posted, but I need to do that ASAP because I don't know for how long I'm gonna have access to that. My cup here, plant lady, because I am a plant lady. And then these books have no other meaning except the most recent ones that I bought. So if I buy something new, I put it here. This is most probably my next read, God of Malice. It is a dark romance. I know it's huge, a huge series of 20 whatever books. I'm not promising that I'm getting into all of that. I'm just getting into the first one for now, and then we'll see how it goes. This shelf has a lot of books that I want to get to immediately, like Crimson Moth, Anatomy. Oh, I also read Priest, A Deadly Education I really want to read. And then this book is really cute. I found, or I don't even know where it comes from, but I have this key here, exactly the same like the key on the cover of this book, and I just put it there to hang. That's it. My first somewhat empty shelf. Two books here have nothing to do with each other except that they're both gold. This one, another one from my painted cover collection, and then this one, which is a complete Grimm's Fairy Tales book, and I purely got it for collection aspect of it. It has gold edges. It's absolutely gorgeous. This only has that. It only has a journal. It has this like spin-off, what it is, to Divine Rivals. I cannot wait to be reading this. And then it just has like the paper of my current reads from McDonald's right now. I don't know if this is a thing everywhere. It is a thing here. If you buy like a McNuggets meal, you get a pop, you know, with all the characters from Friends. And I don't know how many nuggets I can eat, but I want all of them. I want all 6 of them, and I only have 2. This shelf has nothing to offer. Again, it only has this really cute chicken. There you go. And this cheese candle, which I'm never gonna burn, obvious. This is something that I'm starting. So we have these things like in libraries right now. They release 2 volumes per month, and they're basically like Disney stories in book format, but like the books are gorgeous, and they have like 82 volumes that have been announced. I don't want all of them, but I can say that I want 75 out of how many there have been released. So they just started, and I'm just trying to collect everything because 1, they're gorgeous, 2, they're gonna look amazing on my shelf, 3, they are in Romanian, but like I intend to keep this for my children. I know it's early, but like, wouldn't this be amazing to have something to show your children? Like have the Disney movies, but have the books. Like I can find the books, of course, like anywhere, but I think these are just too gorgeous not to keep as a, you know, something that you give from generation to generation. Let me show you. And then inside they have drawings of like the original Disney sketches. This is Cinderella, and it's gorgeous. The colors are a bit questionable. Like this, to me, I like Snow White, make it like blue and yellow, or like no, like red and yellow, red and blue. They're a bit questionable. Alice in Wonderland, my everything. Yeah, they're amazing, and I cannot wait to have all of them, which is probably gonna take years. Over here, it is all my honestly, these are the ones that I read, and these are the ones that my brother read, but he is not that interested in keeping them nicely and neat on a shelf. So I can appreciate the importance of these books, so I took the liberty to put them here on my shelves. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm sorry if this was a bit too long. If you are here and you watched until the end, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making this. I did not intend for this to be this long, but this is what happens when I talk about stuff that I care about, and that makes me excited. So make sure to like and subscribe so that you get notifications when I'm posting my next videos, because I have a bunch of stuff that I'm working on and that I'm really excited about, whether that is books related or films related. All the books that I want to read in 2026, my TBR is coming up, all the movies that I want to watch in 2026, and then a bunch of things about like writing a script, creating a movie character, trying to make a short film, finding inspiration in either movies or the things that I'm reading. So if that sounds like anything that you're interested in, I will see you in the next one. Bye!